So there's a lot of pressure as far as how do you live your life like a normal person per se, and how do you maintain the Quran Majid. So I've been just trying to serve the Hufaz for maybe 12 years now, just putting everything in place for them to retain what they've memorized, whatever is needed, as far as the environment, or to get to this place or get to that place, or there are a lot of different things that have to be in place for someone to complete the Quran Majid, as well as for someone to retain it. So I've just been trying to serve the Hufaz for the past 12 years, and my niyat is, that I try to serve the Hufaz. Inshallah, Allah make me a Hafiz one day, inshallah.
May Allah make it so.
Ameen. But I don't feel any pressure. There's no pressure as far as going to different massages or anything like that. What the situation is based on everybody's lives. You have to try to implement things where they can be utilized. So if someone is in this location and they're in college, then they can maybe be utilized at a local masjid so that they can continue to revise and lead the Tarawih prayer. So that's why, it's the environment and where a person is located is key, because if one of the Hufaz are in an area where they're committed to a college class, they have to stay in that area. But at the same time, there may be a local masjid that they can go to, after they finish their college courses, to lead the Tarawih prayer during Ramadan. So it's kind of based on, what's going on in their individual lives. If they're in this place because someone is in school or someone is assisting in a particular area with a particular thing, then the niyat is just to perform the Tarawih prayer at a local masjid that may be in that area. But otherwise, Hafiz Shafiq, he completed the Quran Majid when his first year he was about 15 years old. And he went to Holy Islamburg and lived the Salat there. So when he didn't have any marital obligations or school obligations, he would always go to Holy Islamburg every year. And once Hafiz Tahir completed, he would go to Holy Islamburg with him. But then after that, once the marital obligations came and Hafiz Tahir completed, they start going different places. Some may go to Holy Islamburg, some may go to Holy Islamville, or maybe a local masjid, just to be able to perform the Tarawih Salat and try to live their life as normal as possible. I'll just say that to any parents that may want to do it, but they have doubts about it or they're not sure if they should do it, I would say that you should just do it, because when I went into the situation, I didn't know, I don't think I had one family member in Atlanta. I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. But, and I didn't have a whole lot of money to be paying tuition either. But I knew that my child had talent that I didn't want to go to waste. So for Allah's sake, I just said, I can't let his talent go to waste. He has talent in Quran Majid. He was also talented in baseball and football. He played, Hafiz Shafiq played shortstop. He was so good at shortstop that I have no doubts that he probably would have made it to the baseball league and became a professional baseball player. But I had to make a decision, like based on, the Quran Majid, where it mentions that people prefer the life of this world, but the life of the hereafter is better. So I looked at, if I put him in Harvard School, he's not going to be able to play professional sports. So I decided that it would be better for him to go to the HIF program and, dedicate himself to Quran Majid than to dedicate himself to the sport of baseball.
Was he opposed to that at first? Did he prefer, so in the beginning, did he want to go to hospital school or did he want to play sports?
He was playing baseball, football, basketball, and he was good at all three. But I think he was really good at football. He was okay at basketball, but he was excellent at baseball. And I think it was very difficult for him in the beginning to just stop playing sports and sit down and go into the program that he went into, because the program was very, very intensive. The program, I had to prepare him a year. Once I visited the school and I seen the program, I walked the facility, I came back and I prepared him. I tried to prepare him for at least a year, and when he got there, he still wasn't ready for what he walked into. So, even with the program, could you talk a little bit about that daily schedule? What it was like? Because it kind of slips from my mind that the whole daily schedule, how many hours a day you reading, you eat breakfast, you reading, you lunch, you read again, how many hours?
In our schedule, we would wake up for Fajr. Some would wake up for Tahajjud and we would read. I always would prefer that. It would always get me ready for a lesson earlier. But we would wake up for Fajr. After Fajr, Salah, we would have to read until 7:30, 8 a.m. And then we were at the boarding school. We would head from the boarding school to the masjid. And from there, we would eat breakfast and do class all the way up until we had a small break, 30-minute break in between. And then we would continue reading till 1 o'clock. That's when we ate lunch. After lunch, we would go and we would study fiqh till Dhuhr Salah. And after the Dhuhr Salah, that's when it's online schooling or just more reading for those who don't do online schooling. And after that, we would go outside, I'd say at 4 o'clock, and we do sports or just recess activities till Asr Salah. Asr Salah, we would pray and we would go back and read again. And at 7 o'clock, a little bit before Maghrib, we would eat dinner. And we would go ahead to Maghrib Salah, and from Maghrib Salah was another class till Isha Salah. And Isha Salah, after that, we go to bed, everything. But during the winter time when the time switched, after Isha Salah, we would go and read more, at least 1 hour or two, have another class, and then we'd pack everything and go to sleep.
The fiqh part, that for me, that's wow. Fiqh, and then they still allowed you to do your secular studies as well. Very comprehensive.
Yeah, and it was a 2-year program. So they had it down to a science where the hours that was taken, the pages that was recited and memorized and revised, the homeschooling or the online schooling, it was such a science that he said the worst students completed in 2 years. When I first put Hafiz Shafiq into the program, they said the worst students complete in 2 years. At least that was the advertisement I received. That the worst students will complete in 2 years, inshallah. So some may be 2, 3, 4, 5, but I was just told that it's a 2-year program. So there are a lot of students who finished in 2 years, and some even finished before 2 years. Some will come in, they knew some Holy Quran Majid before they entered into the school, and they will finish well before 2 years. Anybody finished before 2 years?
There was this one student that came the year I finished. he came. I don't know if he knew any Jews or not, but he had the most dedication I've seen out of anybody. He would every type of free time, everyone would be playing or just enjoying their free time outside of the class, he will always be reading. And I remember I used to talk to him like, "You don't do anything else?" He used to tell me that this is the best thing to do. I used to be like, "Wow, I wish I had your dedication." And after that, I left because I finished that year. I heard that he used that year and half of the next year, and he finished.
So a year and a half.
He had a natural love for Holy Quran. How long did it take you to finish?
2.5 years.
What advice would you give to a new graduate who's leading Tarawih for the first time? Maybe even alone, without a hafiz to back them up.
I would say to him, don't matter what people say, don't matter what people may tell you, don't worry about any outside noise. You know, you're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's all that matters. And that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you struggle or how hard it may be, inshallah, it will get easier and easier. And this will be, you know, a thing that will propel you throughout your life doing Tarawih every year.
Obviously, becoming a hafiz is an honor, but what about the responsibility? Is it just that you become a hafiz, or are there some other attributes that you have to attain as well to become, you know, fully versed in Holy Quran, or become a certain individual, or have a certain weight about you?
Yes, Holy Quran is, memorizing Holy Quran is a life-changing moment. And memorizing Holy Quran is the very beginning of someone's, you know, future or life. So the thing is Holy Quran, you have to have good conduct, and you have to be a leader and a person other people can look up to. Because if they see someone who's a hafiz that's wavering, then it will throw off a lot of people. Because, you know, someone who has Holy Quran Majid, they are expected to be an honorary person in the community.
They have to be honorable. They have to uphold what it is that they've learned.
Yes.
They have to. Their actions have to manifest what's inside of them, the Holy Quran that they memorize.